All right, folks. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Let's get the show started. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray, and this is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you Monday through Friday, talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that make it just exciting to live here in Las Vegas. Welcome. It's a Friday. It's a beautiful Friday here in the city that never sleeps. And I got to tell you, once again this morning, it was cold, very cold here in Vegas. Now, you would think that we live in the desert and the weather would be pretty hot all the time. And you would be wrong. It's not hot here all the time at all. As a matter of fact, we're in our cold season when it is like incredibly cold. As a matter of fact, I went out the last couple of days. I go out riding my bike in the morning. Many of you know that already if you've been watching the show at any length of time. And so this morning when I went out riding, it was 34 degrees, 33 degrees, something like that. And yesterday it was 31 degrees. No, it was 28 degrees yesterday. So it was just frigid. It's just frigid, cold. And we were having this discussion on Facebook. We were talking about this, and we were saying, "Hey, look, wintertime's over. We've just gone through our winter. It's done. Now we're into our springtime. It's going to be summer pretty quick." People go, "No, it's not going to happen." I go, "Yeah, it's going to happen pretty quick here." So I want to welcome you all to the show. Happy Friday. A lot of stuff this weekend. I mean, a lot of stuff going on this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a second here. Let's talk a little bit about us. We're Living in Vegas magazine, and we've come out with a magazine that we launched January. So the magazine's out. You can go to our website. Check that out. As always, go to livininvegas.com. It's livininvegas.com. And you can check out the magazine, check out all the articles, which is real cool. 23 hacks. So you can see that on the front cover. 23 hacks that every Las Vegan should know. And this is going to save you. I mean, this is going to save you if you, put it this way. If you say Amargosa, people are going to know you're not from here. I'm just saying that. I'm just going to say that right now. That's a bonus one right there. So it's not Amargosa, it's Armagosa. Okay, or if you say Potosi, okay, it's not Potosi Mountain. Okay, and I'm not being vulgar. It's Mount Potosi. So I heard somebody say that one time. Somebody who's fairly knowledgeable, and they kind of got bougie. And I heard them say that, and I went, "Oh my gosh, who are you?" I bet you even say Nevada. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so anyways, pick up the magazine. You can actually get it online. It's a digital edition right now. We're really working on getting our street edition sometime mid year. So it's just a few more months. We're working on that. So we're very excited about that. But you can download the PDF version of our magazine at our website. And all you got to do is actually just go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. And you can get that. Or if you don't want to do that, you say, "Sure, I don't want to be, I don't want to have to keep going to the website every time I want to see something." Well, just send me an email. Send me an email to info@livininvegas.com. I will send it to you. You'll get it each and every morning. Each and every morning that we do our show, we put together a whole list of really cool things that I'm not able to get to on the podcast here, and you can actually get this in your inbox every single morning, which is great because there's a lot of people who are very busy and they're not able to watch the entire podcast, and I dig that. So or they're not able to stay on the Facebook page or whatever, because we're on several Facebook pages, and we're of course on YouTube. You can actually get this podcast on YouTube. But if you can't do all those things, folks, really just send me an email. Send it to info@livininvegas.com. We will send you all the links to the show and all the stuff that you can get each and every day. And I really encourage you to do that. I really do. It's it's something that it's just convenient. We're going to try to make it as convenient for you as possible. We've got a mixer coming up next week. The Happy Hour Business Networking Mixer over at Neon Desert Brewery, 914 South Main Street in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, 89101. So it's right off Main Street. Very excited about this. It starts about 5:30. And once again, it's March 3rd, because it's not on here, but it's March 3rd. And we will leave a link to the mixer on our Facebook page, so you'll be able to check this out, folks. I mean, there's really, if you're a business owner and you're not connecting with people all the time, then really that's part of your business. I mean, it really is. And I know, because I've run several businesses, and most of them have been done by word of mouth. It really has. It's all been word of mouth, connecting with other business owners. I get calls pretty much every day from business owners, and not just because of the magazine, but just because I'm always out there reaching out to people, and I think any business owner really needs to do that. So come to the mixer that we have. Once again, it's March 3rd, and it's Thursday nights. We have them on the first and the third Thursday of the month. You can check those out. Great craft beer, food truck that we're going to have there. I really encourage you, though, to register for the event. And the reason why is because that helps us to prepare for you. Our first event that we had, which was just a couple weeks ago, we were packed. It was to capacity. And we found out that, boy, we really got to plan for this a little more, because I had people standing at the bar, waiting to get their drink when they should have been in there talking to other business owners. So we don't want that. We want to make sure we're all taken care of and geared up and stuff like that. And you can actually do that. Register for the event and let us know that you're actually coming. Okay, and only register once, folks. Just you don't have to register 4 or 5 times. Really, it kind of throws off our numbers there. I had one person who registered like 6 times. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 6 times, and I can we can tell. So don't register 6 times unless you're 6 different people. Okay, it's kind of throws our numbers off on everything. Let me do this here. Okay. So a lot of cool stuff going on this weekend. Matter of fact, the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be here this weekend, folks. Yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights
by the penalty killers just to reel and
tonight.
navigate that tough situation for the Sharks.
Arizona tonight.
Now a chance for Vegas, and the wrist shot goes in.
Then they'll be back at the
Keegan Colasar. And Vegas
tomorrow.
takes someone 1-0 lead.
Playing, so they got a lot of games to play.
And it's shot.
And we really encourage you to get out there and watch the Vegas Golden Knights. They're just a fantastic team. I think they've got 61 games to play in like 66 days type thing. I mean, it's really a lot of games since the All-Star break. They've just, and the what do they call it? The Olympics now they're having to just push in all these games that they've got to play. So you definitely want to be there and check that out. So the Rock and Roll Marathon, it's coming up too, folks. So the Rock and Roll Marathon, another one of these great, fantastic, one of these fantastic events that you can be a part of. The Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon is Sunday. They're preparing for it now. We were just talking to you about this yesterday. Where we were telling you about that they're going to have road closures all over the place. And the road closures, you really need to be aware of them. If you had not seen it, we'll post again where the road closures are. But they're going to be all up and down the strip, where they're going to be closing up the strip. And so you definitely want to be aware of that, because as a matter of fact, they're going to be doing the half marathon first. Then they're going to be doing the full marathon. And so they're going to be closing up stuff basically starting. Is it starting today? No, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think they're doing the half marathon, and then today, no, I think they're both doing them both Sunday. But I'll double check, and we'll leave links to all that stuff, on our Facebook pages and on our website. And you can check out all that information. But you need to know where the lane closures are at, street closures. They're going to be diverting things, especially up and down Las Vegas Boulevard. A lot of that stuff's going to be closed down because you're going to have probably 40,000 people running that race. I did register for the event back in 2015, I believe it was. Yeah, 2015, 2012, 2015. And I had torn a muscle. So I've trained for a marathon. And I was running a half marathon every weekend for at least 2 months. At least 2 months that I was running a half marathon, just in training. And then I tore a muscle in my leg, in my right leg. Yeah, it was in my right leg. And I tore a muscle in my leg. Oh my gosh. So I had to stop, and I didn't run for almost 3 or 4 weeks. But I was already, I had made the distance. I knew I could run the distance. So I get out there to the staging area, and I'm getting ready to run, and I figure, okay, this muscle should be fine by now. I haven't run. I've been, taking my time. I get out there, and I've got my number and everything else. And there's a difference between full marathoners and half marathoners, the little badge thing that they give you. And so I'm lined up with my group. I start running. I probably get 100 yards. I can hear rip. Yeah, literally I could hear the sound of my muscle in my leg going again. It just ripped. And I could hear it. And I could feel it. Of course I could feel it. But needless to say, I had to get off to the side as quickly as I possibly could. I'd probably gone all of 200 yards, maybe 200, 300 yards. Turn around, come back, and people looked at me like, oh my gosh, this guy is so fast. He ran that entire marathon. You ever seen Moses and the parting of the Red Sea and stuff like that? That's what people did. They parted the Red Sea for me as I was coming back, because the jersey that I was wearing, the number and everything else, signified that I was a marathoner, that I could run the marathon. They thought that I had actually run the entire marathon. I know. Anyways, so the Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon, half and full marathon, is this weekend, and you've got to check that out. Also, Scale the Strat. Scale the Strat is going to be this weekend. So when is that? The Scale the Strat for lung cancer is going to be February 27th, starting at 7 a.m. So if you've never seen this before, folks, they didn't have it last year. I don't think they had it last year. We'll leave the link to this. I believe you can still actually be a part of this. I think registration's closed, but they're raising money for lung cancer, and or the American Lung Association. So I think, how much is it? I'm going to leave the information on our Facebook page, or no, I'll put it on our website. So you go to our website and you can check out all this information, because there is a cost involved with it. So they've raised so far $208,000. Their goal is $230,000, and so once again, people have been signing up for this thing for quite a while, and they've been talking about Desert Springs Hospital put in a team amount. My gosh, it's a lot of money these guys put in. Individuals have put in money for this, and thank you everybody who's put in money, which is great. And the top companies that so there's a link. There's actually a page that you can actually go to, and you can actually check out all of the stuff. So Scale the Strat, once again, is this weekend over the Stratosphere, and the Stratosphere is the tallest building we have here in the valley. So it's quite a feat that people are doing. They're going all the way up the building, and it's an amazing thing. So there was a story that some of you probably have seen this happen. rent prices have been spiking across the nation, not just here in Clark County, but across the nation. One report was that a gentleman received a notice that his rent was going to increase from a nominal $1,500 or so to over $6,000 a month, $6,400 to be exact. The landlord, when they were confronted by reporters about this, they said, look, the rent is whatever we want it to be, or we deem it to be. Nevada has no rent control law. No one is obligating anyone to rent property they cannot afford. So Commissioner William McCurdy is looking for public input on what should happen to this. And in a statement he said, we have to have a conversation. Some may call it rent control, some call it balance, whatever you call it. We call it doing the right thing. More people, unfortunately, are entering homelessness each and every day. These are people that are literally the working poor, and they can't afford a $300 increase, let alone, some people. One guy had his rent increase to like $8,000 a month, and in one case though, the guy who that was had his rent increased was back rent like $36,000. So it wasn't as though this guy had never paid or was current on all of his dues. He was actually having to pay quite a bit. So they're looking for public input on this, and we'll leave the link to this also so you can actually check this out. It's quite a disturbing thing that we're actually seeing, a disturbing trend where people's rent has gone up, not just a little bit, folks. I mean, it's gone up quite a bit. Sorry about that. It's gone up quite a bit, and if you've got public input that you want to, have everybody know about, that you've got an opinion that you want to have, everybody know, we'll leave the link to that. You can check that out. This guy right here. This is the world's smallest cowboy, Kevin Brown. He stands 3'10", and he said he never let his height never stand in his way. And so Kevin is from Las Vegas. He joined the circus, and what's going on with Kevin is he had a pituitary gland abnormality, and it just wasn't functioning correctly, and it stopped him from growing. Now, he's not a dwarf and doesn't have any kind of dwarfism. He just has a pituitary gland issue, and he said, look, but he has never allowed and never had his height stand in his way. And so it's an interesting story. He said he reached 3'8", and then he joined the circus. Stints in tours from the United States to Canada brought him back to Vegas in the late 70s. He owned that world's smallest title, performing Samstown and other properties. He has photos in local newspapers from that era that show him saddled up on a horse. So very cool. Very cool story. This guy who's saying that he's the world's smallest cowboy. So we have royalty here in Las Vegas. And so we'll definitely share this story because you've got to check this out. Because Kevin is much older than this now. I mean, so you'll see the picture of Kevin, much older than this now. He's got many of you saw me with my beard. So think about 4 times as long. So that's Kevin right there. And so we thought we'd share that story with you. So for those of you, oh gosh, I talk so much. I'm going to kind of blast through a few of these because there's so much to talk about. There was one person who died in an ultra light aircraft crash near Boulder City just recently. The one person, that was Thursday, according to city spokesman. Police said and fire department are responding to the scene of I-95 marker 51 south of Interstate 11. And so They're still under investigation why the Dystar Sundancer glider crashed about 1:40 p.m. yesterday, and only the pilot was on board. So that's a tragedy. And so we'll try to get you an update on that also. Out at UNLV, they're doing a teachers program, which is a fantastic program. It's a fast track teaching program to assist with teacher shortages. When we started the year, folks, there was actually a shortage of about 400 teachers here in Clark County. And through a pot of money that has been, directed our way, UNLV has started what they call the Paraprofessional Pathways Project, or PPP, a fast track teaching program. And so it has helped people who, like me, I used to be a teacher in the Clark County School District many, many years ago. And had I had this program in those days, I might have been a teacher to this day. I might have been, because I enjoyed it. I did it for 4 years, but I was an aide. Now what they're doing is they're taking people who have associate's degrees or who have been employed at the CCSD or charter schools to get their licensure so they can actually help out with the teacher shortages. So very cool. Cheap Trick, folks, is in town. Cheap Trick is going to do 4 nights at the Strat Theater. Now, the Strat Theater only houses about, 800 people, the capacity? And but they've had quite a few rock and rollers there. I think Sammy Hagar was doing a residency there. And so Cheap Trick is going to be out there. We'll get you the dates on that. What are the dates on this? They're going to be doing pretty quick here, so I don't think it's that far off. We'll get you the dates on that. February 25th through the 26th. And then they're going to also do March 4th and the 5th. I think all the shows start about 9 o'clock. Cost about $75 to $125. So we'll leave the link that you can actually go to check out Cheap Trick. So I think you'll love that. Some cool stuff that Cheap Trick is in town, folks. So the Venetian, folks, it's sold. $6.25 billion sale of the Venetian properties on Vegas Strip is complete. Now, this is an interesting story in that the Venetian and the Palazzo casino restaurants and former Sands Expo and Convention Center announced Wednesday they have completed the sale of the iconic Las Vegas Strip property for, as we said, $6.25 billion. A lot of stuff has been changing hands lately. I mean, a lot of buildings in up and down the Strip, the Rio, the Palms, a lot of properties have been changing hands. In this case, the Global Management and Las Vegas Sands Corp said in separate statements, because those are the guys that bought these properties, that gamblers, conventioneers, hotel guests should see few changes at the luxury hotel complexes, including the renamed Venetian Expo. So the Sands Expo is now going to be the Venetian Expo. The names will remain the same, and George Marcantonis, CEO of Venetian Resorts, said the management team will stay the same. So you're not going to see many changes down there. The Strip is doing some amazing things. There is a new taxi, autonomous self-driving taxi service available downtown Las Vegas, folks. A free on-demand Robotaxi service has launched in downtown Las Vegas, according to a news release. Starting Thursday, which was yesterday, Motion and Via have launched a new Robotaxi service in Las Vegas, which will provide free self-driving rides to passengers in the downtown area. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine this, folks? Can you imagine riding in a taxi with no driver? Oh my gosh. The company said the service operates from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Robotaxi will offer pickups and drop-offs in downtown Las Vegas, including RTC Bonneville, Transit Center, the Las Vegas City Hall, Container Park, Arts District, and Clark County government buildings. So we'll leave the link to this. If you want to request a ride, I think I'm going to do this. I think I am. If you want to request a ride, you have to visit their website. We will leave the website link for you. I think this is going to be something. People are going to do it just to see what the heck it is. I think they will. This is going to be amazing, 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 amazing. So if you were wondering which high schools are the best high schools in Nevada, there was actually a survey taken by a company called Stacker, and Stacker compiled a list of the best high schools in Nevada using rankings from Niche, and that's another website. And so let me give you a list here, folks. Let's see if your school is on there. Okay. Wow. So 2 of the 6 schools that are on the list, we'll give you the top 6 in the schools are private schools. So 2 of the 6 are private schools. Number 6. Let's start at number 6. West Career and Technical Academy. It's a public school. They enrolled about 1,400 students. They have a 25-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. Number 5, Coral Academy of Science, and that's Las Vegas Sandy Ridge. They enrolled only about 846 kids, and they have a 26-to-1 student-teacher ratio. Number 4, ATA, or Advanced Technical Academy. They enrolled 1,191, so they have 23-to-1 student to teacher. Number 3, I've never heard of the school, Sage Ridge School, which is a private school. So Sage Ridge, they're in Reno. That's why I didn't hear about them. They only enrolled 209 kids. Okay, 7-to-1, 7-to-1 ratio. Wow. Number 2, let's come back down to Vegas. The Meadows School. The Meadows School, 910 kids, 9-to-1. So 9-to-1 ratio of kids. And the number 1 school, have you seen your school on this list? The Davidson Academy. It's a public school. It's an online school, though. It's the number 1 school in Nevada. Their enrollment was 178 kids, 4-to-1 ratio. And so we'll leave a link to this because I think some of you are probably thinking, wow, where is my school at? Yeah, where is my school at? I thought my school was a great one. I thought, you'd see this school or that school. And if you didn't see it, it's not that it's a bad school, but it's not ranked in the top 6 of schools. I've heard of a couple of the schools. As a matter of fact, my nephew and my niece both went to Meadows School. And I've heard of Coral Academy. So very cool stuff, huh? Let's do oh gosh, I'm out of time. So this is why, folks. This is why you need to get on our mailing list, because there's so much stuff. I've got so many more things that we can talk about here. We don't have time. Once again, a lot of stuff this weekend. The Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon is going to be in town. The Strat, climbing the Strat is going to be on, and so much more, folks. We want to encourage you. If you would like to be on our mailing list, all you've got to do is send us an email. Really, just send us an email at info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. We will post links to all of this stuff on our Facebook page or on our website, which you can go to livininvegas.com. You can find out all about this, folks. We really encourage you, if you've not come to one of our mixers, it is next Thursday. So it's next Thursday for the happy hour. It's going to be over at Neon Desert Brewery. We encourage you to come out there, and it'll be March 3rd from about 5:30 to 7 o'clock. So you will enjoy that. Anyways, we will see you again Monday, 8:30 to about 9 o'clock for the Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. We will be talking more about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that keep you living in Vegas. We'll see you again Monday, folks. Bye-bye.